Hello everyone, welcome back, and Barcelona beats Bayern Munich 4-1 in the Champions League. And first off, before I even talk about Barcelona's performance, what a historic game of football. I feel like you just had to be there to be able to experience what we just experienced. It was incredible, end-to-end stuff. There was basically no defense involved. Both teams said, let's just try and outscore the opponent, and Barcelona, they just were able to make it happen. And I'll be honest, I think at the beginning there were some sketchy signs from Barcelona. I think it maybe didn't look like it was going to be a convincing performance. But Barcelona, their reaction after that equalizer from Harry Kane to bounce back and to score a second, a third, and then a fourth, and then just completely dominate and control the tempo for the next 30 minutes. What a game. And I remember that 8-2 game against Bayern Munich, which I'm sure a lot of you all remember as well, and it just didn't look like the players had the heart. They didn't have the energy there, but every single player on the pitch today, I mean, they were so proud to play for Barcelona, and that's why they got the win. It wasn't just the skill gap. It wasn't Hansi Flick setting up the team so well. It was because the Barcelona players actually wanted to go out there and leave everything on the pitch, and that's exactly what they did. And, I mean, we can't take this lightly. I know Barcelona have been flying this season. They've been incredible. But to beat Bayern Munich 4-1, and I think Bayern Munich, they've had a pretty good start to the season. I think they've won 7 out of 10 games. You know, they're under a new coach as well. But Barcelona, to beat Bayern Munich 4-1, what an incredible game. And I'm just so glad that we were all able to experience that, because I feel like we're going to be talking about that game for ages. And I mean, Raphinha, a hat-trick against Bayern Munich, take a bow. All of his goals as well, just such moments of individual quality. And that is just seriously an all-timer performance. We will be talking about that for years to come because, I mean, we saw last season he could step up massively in the big moments against PSG. That's exactly what he did. But this was just incredible. I mean, the first goal, amazing individual quality. That second goal that he wrapped it around Neuer on his weak foot, cutting inside, basically got the ball from the halfway line, took it himself. And then the last goal, Lamine Yamal, what a pass. But then Raphinha to slot it bottom corner against Manuel Neuer. Seriously, as I said, take a bow. That is an all-timer performance. And Raphinha, I don't know what's going on with him right now, but please continue doing that. He is full of confidence. He has all the trust in the world from Hansi Flick to give him the freedom to do exactly what he wants to do. Just incredible. We are seeing the best version of Raphinha by far. It's not even close. And we knew he could be decisive in games, but this level that we're seeing, it is ridiculous. A hat trick against Bayern Munich. I haven't really, I haven't been able to let that sit in yet because it's just so recent. But Raphinha, seriously, what a performance from him. I'm just so happy to see him doing so well. And with the captain's armband as well, to score a hat trick in such a big game for Barca, the biggest game of the season. Man, he stepped up massively for Barca. And after that goal in the first minute, I couldn't believe it. I just turned the TV on. It was just incredible. But then after that, I'll be honest, I do want to talk about the first 15 to 20 minutes after that goal because I don't want to sound negative at all, but I just want to analyze everything that happened in the game. And I think those 15 to 20 minutes for Barca, they were definitely nerve-wracking. I think Bayern Munich, they set up very well. They made it difficult for Barca, but Barca were just not able to break through. They were not able to unlock Bayern's midfield. They weren't able to play out of the back at all. And really the only outlet that they had, the only pass that Barca was able to make in the first 15 to 20 minutes was Inaki Peña just hoofing the ball up to Lewandowski. And hopefully Lewa could flick it on, maybe settle it or try and draw a foul. That was really all that was happening. And I understand Bayern Munich, they came out of the gates very fast, so it was difficult for Barca to break down that team. But, you know, that was a little bit worrying, and it was nerve-wracking because we didn't know how the game was going to go. Because I mean, after that first goal, you thought, wow, that's going to be a huge boost. But then Barca, they couldn't really get any passages of play going. They were just very pinned back in their half. But then it actually took Harry Kane scoring for Barca to get back to the level that we've seen this season. So it was really interesting for that. But as I said, I just love the reaction after getting scored on against Harry Kane. And, you know, 1-1, you just conceded a goal against Harry Kane, and you've got a good amount of the game left. To see that reaction, you know, not just to score 2, but just to score the third and the fourth. It's just incredible, to be completely honest. And I'm just so happy. I mean, there's so many people that I want to praise and I want to talk about in this video. I think the back line, you know, with how difficult it is to play a high line against Bayern Munich, they did very well. I mean, Cubarsí, Inigo Martinez, Balde, Koundé were all great. Marc Casado, what a performance. And then, of course, his partner, Pedri. Another historic performance from a Barca player in this game. I mean, that was incredible. And I know we've seen him dominate games and dictate the tempo against, you know, teams in La Liga, and that's still very impressive when he does that, of course. But to see him step up against Bayern Munich and drop that performance, I mean, both Casado and Pedri deserve so much praise for the games that they had. They were both incredible. I've loved Casado's introduction to the first team. They work so well together. I think Casado off the ball defensively, he's just winning the ball back. He's doing so much work. And then Pedri, of course, just dictating the tempo. The passes that he made, just amazing. And one of the goals was directly from, him getting out of a tight situation, spraying the ball off to Lamine Yamal, and then Lamine Yamal, that was where he played the ball over to Raphinha. So overall, it's just incredible performances from Barcelona players. It was just so amazing to watch. And I think that second goal was massive for Barcelona. Fermin Lopez not only got the assist for the first goal, but also he made the second goal happen. He also got an assist there. And the commentator, I was watching on CBS, I believe, I could not understand what he was saying because he was saying, oh, that goal is definitely going to be disallowed. I mean, that is a very small push. A center back does that to an attacker all the time. Just this, if this is going to be disallowed of a goal, then the sport is gone, right? But that, of course, did not happen. The referee said, yes, we see that. It's a slight push. That happens all the time. Fermin Lopez, I think that's just a really smart play, because I think the margin of a push there is very small. You have to get it about at that level. If it's anything more than this, if it's a two-handed push, yeah, the referee's probably going to have to call that back. But it was just brilliant, really, from Fermin Lopez. And just then Lewandowski was at the right place at the right time. I'm just so happy with the way that they played. And Fermin Lopez, to see him get the start, to see Frankie be introduced in around the 60th minute, Dani Olmo back, Gavi back, all of it is just amazing. I have so many positive things to say. And I know, the first half maybe didn't look as convincing, but you're against Bayern Munich. I don't expect Barca to be completely dominant for 90 minutes. I expect them to, stick with their game plan, which is exactly what Hansi Flick has done this entire season, and it's proved to be very well for Barcelona, and that's why they've played so good and why their attackers are so full of confidence, and that's why Raphinha scored a hat-trick today. And as I said, I've already talked about Raphinha a lot, but, I mean, that performance, that hat-trick and all of his finishes were just amazing. I mean, the first goal, he was one-on-one with Neuer. To have the composure, to take it around him, to put the right touch in, and then to slot it home. But then also that second goal, I mean, as I said, Marc Casado, a brilliant pass over the top. I mean, he won the ball, brilliant pass to Raphinha to free him in, one-on-one against Guerrero. And Raphinha, Guerrero was saying, go in the middle. And Raphinha said, absolutely, I will cut inside on my weaker foot. And then I think he got a little bit fortunate with the Upamecano nutmeg there as he was shooting. But just amazing finish to slot it in the side netting. And then that last finish, that's incredible. And we've seen Raphinha do that a couple times just on the ground, a low-driven shot, if you will. And, man, that was just amazing. As I said, Raphinha's performance, incredible. Casado, Pedri, standouts for me. Just so many good performances. And as I said, the performance overall, I think in the first half, you didn't know what was going to happen, right? We didn't know if Bayern were going to score a couple after that. We didn't know if Barcelona were going to score a couple. Things definitely could have went different, but in the end, Barca, they got the job done. They were very clinical up top, and I do think, especially in the first 60 minutes, I mean, Barca really didn't have as much possession as Bayern. They didn't have as many chances, I think, as Bayern, even though a lot of times it seemed like Bayern Munich was just barely offside. So it was Barcelona's high line working. As I said, it's always a high risk, high reward when Barca play that high of a line, but it worked. And I'm just so happy with Barca. I mean, you can't expect going into this game. I mean, that scoreline, 4-1, is amazing. But also, to see Lamine Yamal doing a Rabona pass in the 65th minute against Bayern Munich. I mean, did you really expect that to be going on? I just laughed when that happened because I was like, no way he has this much freedom in a game that's, of course, going to be a very difficult and huge game for Barca. It's the biggest game of the season so far, and in the 60th minute, it's already 4-1, and Lamine Yamal is doing Rabona passes. So that was just amazing to see. And Lamine Yamal, he didn't actually have as many touches as sometimes he does have in games, but every single time he was on the ball, just incredible. Dribbling Gnabry, dribbling Alphonso Davies. I mean, that kid is so special. I say it all the time, but I've never seen anything like it. So, just so impressed with the way that Barca played, and you just love the energy around the squad right now because a lot of the players in the squad are, La Masia graduates, and they're doing so well for the first team. And I think, when you had that 5 to 10 year span where Barca, their academy, maybe it wasn't 10 years, but around 5 year span where Barca, they just didn't have that many first team players that were from La Masia. I think it just makes such a big difference when you have these players like Cubarsí, like Marc Casado specifically, like Lamine Yamal, that are like Balde, that are just trying their hardest for Barcelona and that care so much every single time they step onto the field for Barca. So I was so impressed with the way that they played, and 4-1 against Bayern Munich in the most important game of the season. And there were so many question marks before this game about, it's Barcelona, and this is going to be a very big challenge, right? This is going to be a big opponent. Can Barca play this high line and dominate in the fashion that they have been in La Liga? And the answer is yes. I mean, Barca, they did so well in this game. And I mean, honestly, I was confused. I didn't know how it was going to go, right? Because, I mean, both Barca and Bayern, they want to play the same way. They want to play, to score a ton of goals. They don't want to just win a game 1-0. They both want to go at you for 90 minutes. And Barca, they just won the game today. They just did so well. And I'm just, as I said, so impressed with every single player on the field today. But also, of course, Hansi Flick. He deserves so much praise for how he's gotten this Barcelona team to play. And I've talked a bit about Marc Asado, and I don't want to talk badly about Xavi, but I think a lot of Barca fans, including myself, we were a bit confused why Marc Asado, it seemed like he was called up for every single game, but he would never really play. And then from the first game that Hansi Flick took over, during preseason, he made it very clear that he counted on Marc Asado. He wanted him to stay at the club. He felt he was going to be an important piece of the team. And then, of course, when Marc Bernal and Marc Asado were starting together, it seemed like Marc Bernal was maybe going to be the one that was starting a lot. Unfortunately, Marc Bernal with a long-term injury, and Marc Asado has stepped up massively. And this is a guy that was captaining the B team last season, and now he's putting in that performance in a Champions League group stage game, against Bayern Munich. I mean, that's something that it seems like that only happens at Barca, right? That a B team captain comes in and steps in, and then within 2 months, he's already this important of a player for Barcelona and dominating a team like Bayern Munich. I mean, that performance that he had, I don't know if he's going to get much credit. I haven't really seen on Twitter. I hope he is. I hope he's getting a ton of praise because not even just that pass to Raphinha, not even just that assist, but the performance overall for 90 minutes, he was everywhere. I mean, he gives me Gavi vibes, right? That he's just running everywhere, that he's putting 100% into every single tackle. And those are the players that win you these big games. And Marc Asado, he was brilliant today, so he deserves so much praise. And Barca, they've really gotten such another great player from the academy, and I'm so excited to see him continue to progress in the first team. And some people maybe will see the scoreline and think that it was a completely dominant and perfect game from Barca. I don't think that it was. Again, I don't want to be negative because I'm so happy with the performance and the result. But, there were some times when I thought Barca, in the first 15, 20 minutes, it was really difficult for them to break through Bayern, and it seemed like they were going to get stuck in their half. It seemed pretty similar, to be honest, to that game against PSG last season in the Champions League, where it was just basically trying to get the goalkeeper to play a pass out to Lewandowski. Hopefully he can turn and then play either Raphinha or Lamine Yamal. It seemed like that was what was going to happen. But then just after that equalizer, that's what it took. And actually, you love to see that, right? Because sometimes you need that little bit of a wake-up call to get you back into the way that you want to play. And that's exactly what happened. So I loved the reaction from Barca because I think at times you've seen in the Champions League, if they concede a goal like that, maybe their head drops a little bit, but it actually motivated them to say, okay, we need to actually step up and we need to find a solution. And Hansi Flick and the rest of Barcelona, they did. They absolutely did. And then they played very well. It wasn't, I want to say it was luck. I mean, I think the chances that Bayern had, they definitely could have been a little bit better on those. And I think the commentators specifically were talking about Bayern's poor performance, but I just think it was due to how good Barcelona played. That's how I see it, and I just see so many positives with the way that Barca are playing. And these are the games that you want to watch, even from a neutral standpoint. To see a game this exciting is incredible for the sport. I love seeing teams play like this, and it's just the freedom to express themselves. All the players on the pitch, that's what they enjoy most under Hansi Flick so far. And it's actually helping us as well as viewers because we're getting to watch an amazing Barcelona that's so entertaining, and you just don't want to miss a game. And so I'm sure we are all so glad that we got to watch this performance today. It was just incredible. I'm so happy that Barcelona played this well, and then they got the win. But as always, thank you very much for watching my video, and I hope you all enjoyed the game as much as I did. I'm so happy just seeing Barcelona play like that. It's just incredible, and all the players, they're just so entertaining to watch right now. But as I said in my last video, I will be going on vacation, so I won't be able to make a video for a while, but I appreciate your support as always, and I love talking about Barcelona, and especially in moments like this, it's just there's so much to talk about, so I wanted to make a video. And yeah, as I said, thank you all very much for your support. I really do appreciate it, and hope you all have a great rest of your day. I hope you all have a great next week, and VISCA BARCA. See you all later. Peace.